Now, equal pay has long been a frustration for women up and down the country. Put simply, they don't get as much money as men. Well, today the government announced that its latest plans to encourage companies to even up the wage bill. It's going to publish league tables showing the widest pay gaps among companies with more than 250 employees. The first will be completed in 2018. At the moment, women take home an average of 20% less money than their male colleagues. Well, the Minister for Women has been explaining the thinking behind the tables.
This is not about blaming, this is about transparency. I think it's really important that companies think very hard about female representation in their workforce. Are they doing enough to get women into their companies and their sectors, and then to promote them?
Nicky Morgan there. Well, joining me live in the studio, Natalie Graham, the Managing Director of Grey London, a London advertising company, and Ben Southwood from the think tank, the Adam Smith Institute. Natalie, is it not a fact that some women want a better work-life balance, and that sometimes you interpreting that can mean that there may be an acceptable distinction in pay levels?
I think you have to take everything into account. I mean, obviously, for men and women, I think that having a good work-life balance is obviously what you aim for all your employees.
Like you running a business, having to find time to do the data to fill these tables in, say, Nicky Morgan is a happy bunny, is that the best way of really pushing it forward? Because you pay equal rates.
We do everything we can to ensure that we are paying absolutely equally across the board. And we also make sure that we've got equal representation. So at the moment, we're one of only 3 agencies in London that's actually hitting the industry standard in the advertising industry of having more than 40% of our leadership team being
I mean,
female.
that's the intriguing thing, isn't it? Because, I mean, the CBI said that this is a distraction for employers. Does it run the risk of really being a kind of token gesture from a minister rather than really addressing a fundamental challenge?
Yes, I think that what we need to, when we think about the question of the gender pay gap, we need to focus on what the real question is. As you said before, when it comes to women and men in the same job, for a long time, about 20 years, most data says they're paid the same. The reason we have a gap is that men and women have different careers and different paths through the workforce. Now, if this might be a problem, to some extent, we might want women and men to have very similar careers and very similar paths through the workforce, but there also might be legitimate reasons why men and women might go off into different jobs and have different levels in their career.
Absolutely, I completely agree, and I think what we need to do is reflect that as and when. So if there are opportunities to help women come back into the workforce, if they've gone off to start a family, we have programmes to allow that, to take that into account. But I think this is just one data point to allow us to better encourage equality across the board.
Are some women shy about putting their foot down?
I think there has been some conversation around people finding it women finding it more difficult to have that conversation in the first place.
Do you find that evidence as well?
I don't know. I can't give a conclusion on that. People say it, but I haven't seen any hard numbers on it.
But in reality, in a marketplace, the real route to equality is equality in demand, not necessarily an outcome.
I think that's probably what we want to look for. And also, when you think about competition is one key way that you can bring women's wages up to the level of men's. If you look at the less neoliberal countries around the world, they tend to have wider gender pay gaps.
Yeah. Well, having just said goodbye to a woman editor at this company, we know that it can work. Thank you both very much indeed. Now, the discussion continues on our Facebook page. Do get involved. Head to facebook.com/news. And that is it this lunchtime. I'll be back with Charlene White with the ITV Evening News. But for now, from all of us here, bye-bye.